Hi there, and Happy New Year. My name is Brittany Lord, and I'm the facilitator for the Remembering Our Babies therapy group. Happy 2025. We're so excited that you've chosen to spend another year with us and watching and getting some information about our group and about how you can cope with your grieving process. This group is so excited for the third year in a row to roll out 3 ways that we're coming alongside people in our community, families who have lost a child due to infant death, miscarriage, or who struggle with the pain of infertility. 3 years ago, this group decided to start really reaching out in our community here and around Chattanooga, Tennessee, and beyond, who know this grief. And if you know it, you know it well. And it's a club that no one wants to be in. Now, this series of videos is not meant to diagnose or treat mental health issues or to help in an emergency. If you're experiencing a mental or a medical health emergency, please go ahead and stop the video and head to your nearest emergency medical facility. So those 3 ways that this group is coming alongside those in our community and beyond are through one, like we had last month, we had our annual fundraiser, Remembering Our Babies group's Walk to Remember. This was an amazing time of fun and fellowship and taking the steps that our babies did not get to take. So at the end of the evening, after we'd had fun and played games, and there was a huge raffle and food trucks, fun for the entire family with blow-ups and kids' games, there was a walk to remember and a candlelight group outside. And it was, if you were there, it was a time that is tough and it's hard and it's very emotional, but it's an amazing few moments, an amazing afternoon that we get to come alongside one another and love each other and recognize that we speak a language that only we understand. So the second way that we're coming alongside people in our community are with these videos. So every single month I'm highlighting a different way that we can cope with all the different effects of grief. My name is Brittany Lord again, and I'm a LPC MHSP here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I have a local office, and I'm providing these videos to be able to get maybe a glimpse of what therapy can look like and to be able to give you some ways to cope with the experience of this grief. The third way is through some individual counseling sessions. Please look us up on Facebook or drop us a line in the comments section of this video and let us know if you would like to access some free sessions to be able to see what therapy can help with in the grieving process. Please let us know if you have any information or have any questions or for more information. So as you can see, I'm next to my Christmas tree, and we just got done with the holiday season. Now, if you also notice, I'm in my workout outfit. I took a run this afternoon. I know that's a dirty word sometimes for a lot of people, but this time of the year, we're really thinking a whole lot about New Year's resolutions. Now, those may be not something that you've ever wanted to make in your life before, or maybe you're thinking about maybe making some goals this year. So we'll talk a little bit about that and talk about ways that we can improve ourselves and some good coping mechanisms for 2025 and some ways that we can practice self-care. Now, there's several different ways that we can practice self-care or have coping mechanisms. Now, keep in mind that these coping mechanisms can be healthy or unhealthy. So the use of substances, working yourself, numbing out to different things, those are typically considered unhealthy coping mechanisms. Now, let's be honest, they work. But unfortunately, some of the effects that we're going to deal with if we numb out with drugs or alcohol or gambling or sex or any of the other things that many times people will fill their life with. And the problem is that those only last for a short time. There's not lasting effects, and it can lead to situations with addiction, and especially if you have, maybe a family history or already maybe some susceptibility to those things. So unhealthy coping mechanisms, again, they work, but they're not going to help you long term, and they're really most of the time going to lead to more problems later on down the line. So some more healthy coping mechanisms, and they can fit into several different categories. Some of those would be some health and fitness. So, for example, I mentioned running. I really enjoy exercise, and there's tons of biological studies that show that exercise is very much beneficial, not only for your physical health, but also your mental health. We won't go into all those today, but you've heard a lot about those. But I will tell you, there was a recent study that I read that for every 30 minutes, every 10 minutes of exercise that you do, you get 5 minutes back in productivity. So it's really a win-win situation that, many times we think, oh, we don't have the time to exercise, but exercising is putting time back into our bank for productivity. Another way that we can use some coping skills or practice some self-care is through altruism, doing for others. So if over this past holiday season, there's so many different ways to do that during the holiday season, whether it's volunteering at a local women's shelter or your local area food bank, taking supplies that are needed to different places in need, but also during the year, there's so many other ways that we can help people in our community and practice self-care in a way that we're giving back to others. Christmas time is a popular time for that to happen, but organizations like your area food banks, shelters, they need help all year round. So maybe looking into something like that. Humor is another great coping mechanism that people can utilize. Some of our most popular comics are people that had a lot of pain in their lives. Now, there's a difference in using humor to squash down and to not face what you're dealing with. So it's a whole lot about moderation, is about using coping skills. We don't have time to sit and think about and to process some of our mental, emotional, all the spiritual effects and physical effects of grief, but we do need to pay attention to some of those things as well. Finding a funny movie, maybe attending a comedy show. Those are some ways to really maybe lighten up life and to maybe help us to not be quite so serious all the time. So humor is another great way to do that. So we mentioned health and fitness, we mentioned humor, utilizing your support system. A support system is a person's biggest factor in helping them to really get through a hard time. If someone asks you, who is your support system? Who do you go to in times of need? And you really struggle to find someone, I would encourage you maybe to make a goal this year of expanding your support system. Maybe you need to join a club, maybe join a gym, maybe I've noticed even down the street from my office, there's a great little knitting place and they have knitting groups. I myself would not be a knitter, but that may be your thing. There's also brush paint and sip places, so a lot of art classes where you can take some art lessons. Tons of people that are right there next to you that maybe have some of the same interest. That's a great support system as well. Also, reading groups. There's tons of book clubs, and for the cost of the book, you get automatic, maybe one new friend out of the group. Chances are, at a group of 10 people in a book club, one person may be able to help you expand your support system. There's many different ways that you can find to help yourself to be able to get through your day. Life is challenging anyway, but especially when you're grieving the loss of a child, whether through miscarriage, infertility, or the pain of losing a child due to infant death. These are really difficult things that people can struggle with, and to be able to help yourself to find other ways to navigate being able to work through it is so, so important. Please make it a note this year to maybe give us a listen, watch some of these videos, let us know how we're doing, give us some pointers of things that we can do better. Maybe seek out some therapy. The number one month of the year for therapists is January. It's one of our busiest months because people think, you know what, new year, new me. I'm going to start out by seeking some help and be able to allow a professional to come alongside and to be able to help me on my journey. Life is hard, and whether you're going through a grief experience or you're just struggling with the difficulties of life, sometimes it's really, really helpful, not just sometimes, all the time, but it's really helpful to have someone who has not only the benefit of psychological, scientific research, but also doesn't, as I tell my clients, I don't have to sit across from you at the breakfast or the Thanksgiving table. I can be removed from the situation and be able to help navigate some of the different factors and the difficulties of life, quite honestly. These are just some of the coping mechanisms, of the examples of coping mechanisms that you can do. If there's something that we haven't mentioned here today, please drop it in the comments section and let us know something that we may not have gotten to mention. I can't wait to see you guys every single month coming in the rest of 2025. Make it a great year. Take care.